Welcome back to Mending Moments with Rita. I'm glad you're here, folks. Today, we're going to make a tiny satchel, and it will be just a little bag for life's tiny treasures and tender moments. It will be something that you can carry some books, some tea, if you happen to do some running around and going into the pharmacy, drugstore, get your little parcels. Don't forget your vitamin D, ladies. Get your vitamins. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and do that. Now, just based on the fabric I had, this is just 13 by 18 long. This is the outer fabric, and this will be the lining. And this is a really simple project. You can make it anytime. I also have some cord. You can use ribbon, cord. If you have enough fabric, you can make your own ties. And we're going to do the drawstring through that. So follow me, and we'll make it in a few minutes. So the first thing we're going to do is we are going to put the right sides together, the top and then the lining. And you can use clips, you can use pins, whatever is convenient for you, or whatever you have. Even if you just want to baste it by hand, I still do that. That's the way I was taught, so that's still the way I do it. So whatever is good for you, go ahead and do that. And so we're going to just sew along the top here with our sewing machine across the top on both of these fellas, and then we'll put them together. So that's just step one. It's only about 3 steps. So I went to the sewing machine and I sewed them together. So here we have 2 long pieces of fabric. And what we're going to do now, I'm just going to give them a quick press just so we can make that a nice small piece. And then we're going to put, again, we're going to put right sides together. Make sure you match up the front and the back. And we are going to pin these seams together. Get your pins or your clips or whatever works for you. Like I said before, pin it all the way together. And then what we're going to do is we're going to sew all the way around. It's going to be a nice big long stitch all the way around, except for about a 2-inch opening here. So I'm going to clip it. I'm going to pin it all the way around, and I'm going to put a couple of pins down here to remind me not to sew through that, because that's where we're going to turn it over and make it right side out. Don't be afraid to use a lot of pins or a lot of clips. It's always better than having that fabric go in another direction. Trim the extra fabric, trim off the corners. This doesn't have to be perfect or fancy. As you can see, I went a little off here, but we're going to just trim that away. No one's going to see that. And better done than perfect, right? That's my motto. Don't ever worry about it being perfect. This is what creative healing is all about. It's all about just getting in there, working with your hands. It makes you purposeful. It makes you value what you do and what other people do. It is a mending moment. It's healing. It's mindfulness. It's excellent for your mental health. So we're just going to take this out and stick your hand in there and push through those corners. Make it nice and straight. Here too at the other end. Push through those corners. And then give it a little press. I think I've mentioned this before, but when you're doing any kind of sewing, your iron is going to be your best friend. It takes everything from mediocre to next level. And you don't have to have a big iron like this. You can get one of those little guys, those little portable ones that I've seen on YouTube and on other places. They're great. They're only about $40, maybe $40. They're not really cheaper, but they're portable and they don't take up a lot of space. And if you're not an ironer or a presser. So we'll come back and we're going to close this up later. But for now, we're going to push it in here and our bag is taking shape. Right? There it is. That's all we're doing right now. And this is where we're going to come back. And again, I'm going to give this a press because I want to line up that lining and the front. I just want to make sure it's even. We're going to sew a couple of channels in there where we are going to put our drawstring through. So the lining is in there. We're just going to finagle it, push it in there. So what I want to do is when we do a channel here, if we do a line across here first, that's going to be kind of like our header. And when we pull that drawstring through, we're going to see this other lining, which is a nice contrast. It's really pretty. So I'm going to take my ruler and I am just going to mark an inch down with the chalk. So that'll be 1 inch down. That's our header. And then our channel is going to be the next one. And I think I'd like that to be about 1.5 inches. The cord I have is a bit thick, but you can use any cord. You can use cord, you can use ribbon or gross grain ribbon, but this is a bit chunky. So we got to put 2 through. So I think, and again, this is just opinion, I'm going to make that 1.5 inches. Can you see those 2 lines? So I'm just measuring from that inch that we had earlier, right, from the header. Just draw that a little bit darker so you can see that. And now I'm going to do 1.5 inches from that. Yeah, I think that's 1.5 inches. Bear with me for a second here. I can hardly see it. There. And we'll do another line. Now I'm going to go to the machine and I'm going to sew all the way around the first one and then all the way around the second one. Make sure everything is kind of flat on the inside, and then we'll come back and we're just going to clip those stitches in here to thread that cord through. But what I'd like to point out is when we are crossing this seam, because I'm going to clip the stitches in here, it's a good idea to just go back and forth a bit on these lines here so we won't unravel the rest of the purse. So on your way around, stop here, do a couple of back stitches and keep going. Stop here, do a couple of back stitches on both sides, and I'll be right back. So now that I've got my cord here, I'm going to just give it a quick measure. So we said that the bag was 13 inches wide, and when we sew it together, it usually ends up being about, well, 11. I'd like to make the cord a little bit longer because I'm going to wrap it up here. It's going to tighten, but we want to make sure that it doesn't get lost within the bag. So I just give it an eyeball here. What's that look like? I'm going to cut that. And then I'm going to cut another one the same length because we're going to wrap it around twice. And we're going to open up that carrier that we talked about in here. So we're just going to take our seam ripper or scissors or whatever you have, razor, some people have razors, but we're just going to clip the front part. Not going to clip all the way through because we still want that lining to be intact. So there we are. And we're just going to go through there. Make sure we can get through both sides. If you have to trim a little bit more, you can, but I think I got it. There. And we're going to do the same on the other side. So I've threaded one through, and now I'm going to thread the other through. And just in case you've never seen this, we put a bobby pin through it and we run it through the casing. So the first drawstring that I put through was on the one side, and you tighten it up and it closes the satchel. But I want a drawstring on both sides. So this one, we started at this end, this side, we're going to start at this end, and we're going to just thread that safety pin all the way through. If you're using ribbon, be sure to, sometimes you have to kind of take a lighter to it so it doesn't fray at the ends, so you can get it through. And now you know why I made that channel 1.5 inches, because then it's easier to thread this through. If you make it too narrow, it gets harder to thread the ribbon through. If you're making a smaller little satchel, it's lovely to have those cute little ribbons and a narrow bag. So there it is. Look at that. Great, isn't it? And we'll take out that safety pin. I'm going to knot these up. The other thing you can add too is some beads, some crystals. You can also embroider something on the bag. You can personalize it. You can put your initials or whoever you're going to make it for. I don't know how this will work if I put the flame to it. I'll try that later. I won't try that on camera, but we'll try that later. I almost forgot. We have to close up the lining. Done. That would have been awful, giving that to someone and then big hole in the bottom of it. But hey, Mistakes happen. So here is your tiny treasure. You can make this for yourself, for someone else, just to take with you. Keep it in the car if you have some running around to do. Like I said, it's always an opportunity to be purposeful, to be valued, and to do something with your hands. As we get older, we really need to be mindful, and this is another perfect way for mending moments. Come back. We'll see you again next time.